Today, I'm about to show you is the world's deadliest hypersonic missile America has ever built. And according to multiple reports, the US could actually use this weapon in the current Iran conflict, because once this missile launches, stopping it becomes almost impossible. In the next few minutes, we're going deep inside Iran's underground missile bases, uncovering how hypersonic missiles actually work, revealing the secret weapon the US spent years developing, and why experts believe current defense systems may not be able to stop it. So let's get started. Iran's underground missile bases. Iran recently moved some of its missile launchers deeper inland, and not just a few miles deeper either. The problem is, a lot of America's strike systems in the region can't even reach that far. Right now, one of the US Army's best long-range weapons is the Precision Strike Missile, but even that only reaches around 300 miles. Iran pushed its launchers way beyond that range, which means, right now, Iran can launch missiles, reload, and stay relatively protected. And according to recent reports, NCNTCOM sent an urgent request directly to the Pentagon. They wanted one weapon in particular, even though it still hasn't officially entered combat service. How hypersonic missiles actually work. To understand why this weapon matters so much, you first need to understand how normal ballistic missiles actually work. Basically, most ballistic missiles launch upward, follow a giant arc through the sky, and then gravity pulls them back down. And because that flight path is predictable, modern air defense systems can usually calculate exactly where the missile is going. That's what systems like Patriot and THAAD were built for. Radar tracks the missile, computers predict the trajectory, then an interceptor gets launched. If everything works correctly, both missiles collide at one predicted point in space. But hypersonic weapons change that completely. Instead of following one predictable arc, they can constantly change direction and altitude during flight, which creates a massive problem for defense systems. Because now the target isn't just insanely fast, it's unpredictable too. Now here's where the engineering becomes completely insane. At Mach 5, the air in front of the vehicle compresses faster than it can escape, and that compression creates unbelievable heat, mostly because of thermodynamics, not friction. Some parts of the vehicle can reportedly reach over 1,600 degrees Celsius. Aluminum melts at around 660. For comparison, the space shuttle experienced similar temperatures during re-entry, but only for a few minutes. A hypersonic missile has to survive that kind of heat for almost 20 minutes, while still maneuvering at extreme speed. The secret weapon the US spent years developing, the weapon CENTCOM reportedly requested, is called Dark Eagle, a hypersonic missile designed to move faster than most defense systems can even react. This thing can maneuver after launch and hit targets nearly 1,700 miles away in about 20 minutes. And interestingly, the solution wasn't just stronger heat shielding. Instead, engineers pushed the missile much higher into the atmosphere, above 40 kilometers, because at that altitude, there's less air, which means less compression and less heat buildup. But thinner air creates another problem. It becomes much harder to control the vehicle during flight, so the guidance system is constantly making tiny corrections using fins and thrust vectoring together. Basically, the missile is adjusting itself non-stop while flying, far faster than most defense systems can react. And this is where things start getting uncomfortable for America. The US has actually been researching hypersonic weapons since the early 2000s. But China reportedly conducted far more hypersonic tests. Russia already used hypersonic weapons during the Ukraine war. China, operational in 2019. Russia, operational in 2019. America is only deploying now. And honestly, the Dark Eagle program itself had multiple setbacks during testing. At one point, even a launcher-related mechanical issue canceled the launch before takeoff. The first fully successful end-to-end flight finally happened in December 2024. Then, after another major test in March 2026, CENTCOM reportedly requested deployment only weeks later. Why current defense systems may not be able to stop it. Dark Eagle's range is around 1,700 miles, roughly the distance from New York to Denver, which means launchers that were previously unreachable are suddenly well within range. and Iran's air defense network has already been weakened by previous strikes. Right now, there's no proven defense system specifically designed to stop maneuvering hypersonic glide vehicles, which is exactly why militaries around the world are watching this so closely. Because this isn't just about Iran anymore. It's about the future of missile defense itself. For decades, air defense relied on one basic assumption. If you can track something, you can intercept it. Dark Eagle challenges that entire idea. So now countries are starting to question whether building more interceptors even makes sense anymore. And by deploying Dark Eagle, America may actually accelerate that global shift itself. Ironically, the country that benefits the least from hypersonic proliferation might actually be the United States, because America already has the world's biggest conventional military advantage. Dark Eagle reportedly took nearly 20 years to build and cost around $12 billion. And according to reports, only 8 missiles are currently available. Each one costs around $15 million and they can't be replaced quickly, which makes this entire situation even stranger, because Dark Eagle still hasn't officially been declared fully operational, and yet CENTCOM reportedly wants it deployed immediately. The most powerful military in history spent nearly 2 decades building this weapon. And after all that, there are still only 8 missiles. And the real question now is whether America built enough of them fast enough for any of this to actually matter. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.